The war within your mind. James 4. When you start striving, you start receiving. My name is Nora, and I am a spiritual conduit. I am a channel between earth and the heavenly realms. I work under God's authority and authority only. I've made mistakes, I'm human. I've been judged, I'm human. I've judged, I'm human. Yet, I'm a light being. I think we all are led by the Spirit, and as we become equipped with the spiritual tools, wisdom, and discernment that God has for us, the more we step into that place and space of power. I believe you're here for a reason. You know, coveting is the desire from lack. And in James 4, it talks about coveting, stop coveting, which means stop having a heart posture that's out of alignment with God. When we have a heart posture that's out of alignment with God, that it almost shows up as double-minded or hypocrisy, right? So it's like we preach, but we don't act in integrity with what we say, or our actions don't match our words. If we really want to take it down to like elementary learning, when we say something that we don't do, or if we do something that we don't say, we want to be congruent with our thinking, with our heart posture. We want to be congruent with what we say and what we do, because if not, you're not living authentically. We don't want to covet. We want to stop living in envy and jealousy. And unfortunately, social media is taking us in places and spaces where we're like, oh my gosh, they're living this way. Oh my God, they get to do that. Why is it so easy for that person and not for me? Stop. Stop the self-sabotage. I was the queen of self-sabotage. I was the queen of, I wanted to be like her. I wanted to be like him. Why couldn't I do this? And then it turned into an unhealthy obsession of why, and trying to mirror something that just wasn't my own and wasn't unique. And this is the part, is that we really want to step into covenant with God. We want to ask, Lord, source, creator, what is our purpose in this world, in this time? Because you were created in this time for a reason. There's a reason you were not born in 1960. There's a reason that you are here today listening to these words. And it is because you are a warrior of the one. And if you don't know it yet, here's your activation. Welcome. Jump on the bus. We're going up. You were born in this place to be a force to be reckoned with, to be someone that is going to change the world, that someone is going to impact others in a way that is going to activate the seeds of the Lord, the seeds of God, in ways that you have no idea yet. Prophesy. Oh, whoa. I didn't even know this was going to take me there. But we are creating heaven on earth as it is in heaven, the Lord's Prayer. It is symbolic of what we are doing as the collective rises here in this place and in this space, okay? We want to really stop striving to be like others. We really need to live in our authentic selves, take off the filters, take down the masks, go deep to where you have let yourself down. Go deep to where you have done things that are not in alignment with what your true nature is. And if your true nature is experiencing angry thoughts, malicious thoughts, addictions, then we want to pray that out of ourselves, right? We don't want to live in that anymore. Nobody wants to live in poverty. Nobody wants to live in addictions. Nobody wants to be an overwhelmed parent who is unable to show up for their children. Nobody wants to be failing in their business. Nobody wants to be failing at success, looking at a broke bank account. Nobody wants to be dying of cancer. Nobody wants to be unable to have babies and never attract the perfect partner. Nobody wants that. And if you are in a season of experiencing lack, this is your sign to take action to change. This is your sign to take action to liberate all of these things that are happening to you, say they are happening for you, and grow from them. Every experience I experienced, and they were hellish, happened for me. Every experience. Attempted suicide, son that went to jail, cousin that was murdered, divorced parents, emotional abuse, sexual assaults, all of that happened for me. And I say that with reverence, and I say that because I promise you You are not defined by what happened to you. You are there to learn from what happened for you so that you can share that with somebody to help change their perspective of how they are living. You are here to step out of your comfort zone to be able to chase your dreams. And I am saying that because I believe it. I could have ended up being a prostitute on the streets, pimped out. I could have ended up being a single mother who never got married, who never made money, who sat on welfare her whole life and gained 100 pounds eating junk food. I could have killed myself. I could have done all of these things. And I'm like, thank God I didn't. You know, I was so hard on myself growing up. I was like, I wasn't pretty enough. I was not a cute child. I was like the ugly duckling. I was beaten up in junior high. I was beaten up in high school. I went from high school to high school because people didn't like me. I had this template of just wanting to be loved in desperation and couldn't understand why people were always mean to me. And they were mean. You know, and because of all of these templates of shame and grief and things that started when I was a very small child as an imprint and kept attaching to me, they got so big, they took over who I was. And then God started to unravel me. And as He started to unravel me, life got harder. It didn't get easier. The journey with God is not for the meek. Holy, it creates warriors. You know, I've not gone to school to study theology. I went to school and studied education. You know, I was condemned when I was doing my master's. I was working at a high school as a guidance counselor, like in my practicum, and women complained because I was a fitness model and they thought it was inappropriate. Yet, yeah, if I had been obese and been a fitness model, they would have thought I was empowering. This is the world that we live in. I've always had to try to prove myself to partners, prove myself in business, prove myself in education places, it proved myself with my spiritual gifts. And the one thing I can tell you is that I will never give up. I will never back down, and nobody is ever going to scare me from being who I am. No one is ever going to make me feel too big, too large to take up too much space. And that is my wish for you, because I know that if you are watching this, there's something in you that's ready to be set on fire. There's something in you that is ready to be activated. And I want you to be activated. I want to light a fire under you so big that you are chasing God, that you are chasing Jesus, that you are understanding the power of marrying quantum work and spiritual gifts, that you are understanding that we're living enmeshed with the spiritual world, the physical, the spiritual, and here we are. Because the more we can come together and create this constellation in the world, the more that we can create heaven on earth, which is where we need to live. There are places and maps on this earth plane in this matrix that experience war because of the ley lines, because of what occurs there spiritually in that spiritual realm, because of who they worship or they do not. There are places and spaces that are under constant destruction because of the spiritual side of things. So how do we activate and liberate consciousness across humanity, across the earth plane, across the map, to be able to come together in unification, to experience heaven on earth? The way that people see the rapture biblically is not how I see it in the spiritual world. And I'll talk more about that later because I think that'll go too deep. People will be like, I don't understand. But the point that I'm trying to make is I really, really, really am excited to use my voice and to share my gifts to be able to motivate, to be able to empower, to be able to help heal past hurts through inner child healing and teach people what it means to live a spiritual life without religious indoctrination, without religious programming, and really unraveling everything that you have been taught. I mean, simple, right? Thanks for being here. Can't wait to see you again.